Deputy Gocza is here from MCSO. We've had a number of burglaries in town. Fortunately, MCO has been able to apprehend most of those perpetrators. Deputy Gocza is here to tell us how we can help ourselves. Deputy Gocza, thank you for coming this morning. The floor is yours.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to everybody today. Again, I'm Deputy Tim Gocza. Again, I just want to stress the importance of calling when you see something suspicious. And many people don't realize what a suspect looks like, and they might think, well, they don't fit the profile of a suspect, so I'm not going to call. It's probably nothing. But a suspect, might look like you or I, so we always do need to call. Go ahead and call us just on anything that doesn't look normal to you. You guys know what is normal to your neighborhood. Cars that are out of place, things that just give you a gut feeling as not feeling right. If we can catch these burglars in the act, our chances of successful prosecution go up tenfold, and otherwise it's difficult to get somebody charged with burglary if they're just in possession of items. The county attorney just wants to charge them with a much lower crime, and if we catch them in the act again, we get them off the streets for a very long time. I have a number of tips, and most of these are common sense, but not everybody practices these simple techniques. Something as simple as calling the newspaper service to stop the delivery of your newspaper to keep the papers from piling up. Basically what you want to do is you want your house to appear lived in. And that mostly applies to when you're on vacation, but it can be as simple as when you're leaving for the day to go to work. Most burglaries do happen during the daytime hours. Many people don't realize this. One of the techniques that burglars use is to just simply knock on a door, and if they don't get an answer, then they assume nobody's home. But if they do get an answer, they're often sometimes surprised, and they may present a question to you such as, hey, is so-and-so here? And they'll ask you for a specific name. And this is, just to basically, they don't really care what the answer is. They just giving you a reason as to why they're at your door. You folks ever come across anybody knocking at your door that just doesn't seem to fit in, or is asking you one of these silly questions? You're really wondering, why is this guy at my door? Please give us a call and give us a description, and we will respond as if this person is a suspect in a burglary. And they may be nothing. It may be somebody just truly innocent needing assistance for whatever reason. But it's better to be safe than sorry and have us check them out, because that's what we're here for, and we can't solve crimes and apprehend suspects without the community, which is you guys, our eyes and ears, calling in for us. We just tremendously multiply our effectiveness, all of us working together, when you guys are helping us by calling in, just even the littlest things that are out of place. Your property, by doing things such as having adequate lighting, that's important. I'm sure most of you have heard this before. Motion sensors, if you don't want to have a floodlight on all the time. Some people go through the length of installing lights that are out of reach, so a suspect can't reach up and just unscrew a light bulb to make it dark for them. Suspects hate light, they hate noise. If you have an alarm, use it. Create an alarm system that's audible, that's loud, so your neighbors hear it. And develop good partnerships with your neighbors. Keep your garage doors closed, even when you're home. A lot of people store a lot of things, tools and golf clubs and things like that we see stolen all the time, just because somebody left their garage door open for a short time, or not leaving valuables in your car in plain view. And keeping your vehicle secured, obviously. Doors and windows, locks, I can't stress that enough. Extra locks where you can. The layers of protection you have, the better. So again, this goes back to crimes of opportunity. A lot of the burglars go straight for the master bedrooms, where jewelry and other valuables are kept, and it's pretty well known to them that they're probably going to find some items they want to take right there. So I would encourage everybody to remove those items from that area and put them in another secure area. And maybe if you have a hidden safe somewhere, that would be ideal. Detective Horath, he's got over 26 years of experience, put together a list of some of the different ways that criminals operate, just based upon his experience interviewing them over the years. Most burglaries are done in less than 5 minutes, which is true. They don't like witnesses, they don't like confrontations. Again, descriptions are important. If you can get a license plate possibly, try to memorize their clothing, height and weight, just those basic things for us. And we can get that information out to all the units in the area. Summary is basically that you guys are the eyes and ears of our community. We want to make this as tough of a community as possible for a suspect to come in and commit a crime, and by everybody looking out for each other, I think that's by far the best way to accomplish that. We'll never get mad at anybody for calling us just to check somebody out, because that's what we're here for. We'd much rather do that than deal with something after the fact.
I know about the burglaries that have been occurring, and the vast majority have been in daylight kinds of things. Crimes of opportunity, somebody's driving through a neighborhood and it occurs, but the ones that I've heard about, the town's heard about, have been during daylight hours.
During the week, mostly? More
Yeah.
than weekends, right?
And basically, it's exactly what the deputy described. They're looking either for an open garage, where they're in and out, or they're going up, knocking on the door. Does Jane Smith live here? If the door's answered, otherwise they go ahead and do their thing.
By the way, we don't really, correct me if I'm wrong here, we don't allow soliciting or carefing, correct?
The soliciting's allowed with a permit.
Right, and I've never seen one come to the door with a permit yet. I chase them away.
Now, there's two solicitors who we don't permit. It's protected speech, politicians and religion. So if you get those, that's protected speech. If they look suspicious, please call MCSO. But those, other than those two, they should have a permit, particularly if they're selling magazines to go to college. Thank you, Deputy. We've had a number of burglaries. There have been a number of people arrested. And we were very fortunate. Those arrests occurred because neighbors saw suspicious activity, called MCSO with either a partial license number, and later that day, MCSO picked up the alleged perpetrator, incarcerated them, and eventually most of those people confessed. To the best of our knowledge, Glenn, check me on this, we think most of the people who were doing the things up here have been caught. But the biggest problem is people have been burglared. The burglars say, I stole from that house, the police go up, the deputy goes up and says, we were told you were burglar. He said, well, yeah, I was, but I was too embarrassed to call. I left the garage door open, it's my fault. It's not your fault. What you're doing is protecting that burglar by not reporting it. The biggest frustration I've had as mayor is people not calling town hall. Don't call for burglaries, or MCSO for burglaries. Basically, you're not calling. You're not a problem. You're a help. You're the eyes and ears of the community. Because there's one other thing that ties into this, and it has to do with finding houses and house numbers. And I asked Councilman Miller to talk about this. Retired fireman who has some practical experience about finding places in the dark.
It's dark out there. For police and fire, when you call 911, you give your address. And I've been driving the streets around the town here for quite a few years now, and I'd say half the homes, you can't see the addresses. They're either, the home is sitting way back off the road, the address is on the house, that's fine and dandy, but for the first responder coming down your street, you can't see your address, especially at night. It's brutal. So, sometimes there's a minute or two lost, and police or fire or the ambulance trying to find that address number, and minutes can mean life. So if you look around your neighborhood or any HOAs, maybe it's something you can put out. We're trying to put that out now with coins every now and then about how important the address numbers are, and if you can please get them to where first responders, police and fire can see them, which is up front by your driveway. That's really important.